How's it going, guys? So I'm in the new house right now. Last week they got all the exterior walls insulated. They're gonna be coming tomorrow to start the drywall. And one thing we didn't do was get any of the interior walls insulated just to help with sound between the rooms. I just went and picked up a couple bags of insulation. Just wanted to do a few rooms that I thought might be nice to have some soundproofing. I don't know, from what I was reading, it seemed like it helps, not something you can really fix later. So figure we might as well do something now. I wanna do this little room as a half bath, right beside the dining room. And then upstairs, there'd be a couple walls I want to do as well. So I'll start right here. Be really interesting to see how much of a difference that makes. A lot of the upstairs rooms here have closets in between, so that's gonna kind of give a sound barrier, especially if you have clothes hanging in those. There was one wall here with no closet on it between the master and another bedroom, so I thought I could insulate that. So one thing nice with the spray foam insulation up there at the rim joists, I guess that's an area where you can lose a lot of heat. They got 3 or 4 inches sprayed into there, I think 3 inches. And they also did the one down in the basement. That's kind of a key area you can have issues with. Got a lot of seams and things in there. That's all the insulation I got. When we were tearing down the old house, we saved some of these old logs, and I wanted to find one to use for our mantle over our propane fireplace. Just looking through these here a little bit, trying to find the nicest one. I'm gonna get something about 5 feet wide. I think this one here is probably our best bet. Have to clean it up a little bit, and we ought to cut one side flat so that way we can attach it to the wall. I don't really have a saw to cut that, so I don't know if I could find a local sawmill or something to just make one cut in this board. So next morning here, they're bringing drywall in today. Wasn't sure how they'd get it upstairs. I guess this is how. That crew's in the house getting after it. There's a whole bunch of guys there. There's like 5 guys working on the drywall hanging. A couple more guys for the HVAC. They want to have heat running in there soon. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the rooms actually enclosed, kind of get a feel for the size. So today, got a little more shop work. Want to change some filters on the skid loader. It'll be pretty similar to the other skid steers, so probably show you a little bit of that, but we've had the skid steer for quite a while. We use it for running the bedding spreader. It's nice because it's not so big. It gets around the corners in the freestyle barn pretty well without catching stuff. We also use this machine for scraping the dry cow barn every other day. And this is our woodchuck bedding spreader. I think we're actually going to be upgrading this machine pretty soon, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. We're not switching brands, but upgrading to a newer one. This skid steer is a mess. It just gets so much sawdust built up inside of it. It's all plugged up here. I just remembered we're supposed to clean this out every time we wash the unit out. We had these lines rusted out earlier this year. I was wondering where this thing got to. I guess we'd replaced these bolts a while back, set the crowbar in there and just left it there. Wasn't hurting anything. It's good to get your tools back. Got everything cleaned up. Ready to go. I guess we'll move on to our next machine. The 7220 needs oil change and stuff. 7130 as well. Looks like he's got the HVAC coming along, hooking stuff up here. He was working at that most of the day today. The electrician was here this morning, wired up the breaker box. They were here the other day. They put these insulation bats on the walls of the basement. So if we ever want to finish it, I guess we still have to stud inside of this so we can hang drywall. Not planning to do that anytime soon though. So all these filters were together in this box. I had to separate them out. The ones for the 7130 and the ones for the 7220. Got all these name brand John Deere filters. I don't know if it's worth the money or not. If you have any advice for me where we should get filters that are just as good for cheaper, let me know. It's the next morning here. I think this video is going to stretch across a whole week. I'm not sure how to prime the fuel lines on this tractor. This is actually the first time I'm changing these fuel filters. I think these are designed to open up and let the air out. I'm not sure where the pump is though to push fuel through the system. I'm getting engine oil back in now. This barrel's empty, so I'm going to switch that over to the new one. Tractor should take about 5 gallons. At least that's what I got out of it. I'm gonna load this log onto the truck and take it over to that sawmill. Not sure if they're gonna be able to do it for me today, but I want to get it there so they can do it when they have time. I'm back at the farm now. That worked out really well. Get this truck unloaded then. I stopped and got all the herbicide we'll need for this year for the corn and soybeans. I wanted to get that all paid for to get the early pay discounts this year. I don't know if I've ever used a skid steer roof to haul something, but it kind of makes sense right now. Got a new trash pump. Our old one was giving all kinds of issues, missing some parts on it. This was actually pretty affordable. Prices of some of these chemicals really settled down this year. This is the shed we keep our chemicals in. I like to get ahead of it, get the stuff purchased and stored so we're ready to go for spring. I'm back to working at this tractor again. So I think I figured out how to bleed the line here. I just loosened this and turned the key. Sounds like something's pumping here. Get some air shooting out. I guess that worked. I started up, ran a little bit rough for a little, and now it's purring fine. 2 hydraulic filters want to change underneath here. These are the cab filters. I haven't changed these since we got the tractor. Made a purchase this week. Something we're gonna have to set up. Probably get to it next week. I'll let you guess what it is. One last thing we got here, this little cylinder on the door that keeps it open isn't working. That's so nice. The door closes so much better now since there's the right amount of tension right there. Before, sometimes the door wouldn't quite latch right. She got 2 for the back here too, because these weren't quite pushing the back door up. Wow. This was the second day the drywallers were here, and looks like they have everything hung now. Crazy how fast those guys work. One spot there they skipped for whatever reason. Yeah. Get a lot better sense of the size of the rooms now. I guess they have a bunch of work now to tape all the seams up and putty everything. I think they might want to get the ceiling insulated first, and then they can run the heat. I think they need the house heated to finish the drywall. Looks good. It's awesome. Got a lot of space above the stairs. I don't know what we'll do up there. I've been impressed with all the guys that come in here and work. They don't mess around. Do their job well, clean up after themselves, and ready for the next step. So Hey guys, it's the next day now, so I'm continuing this video throughout the whole week. We were at a meeting today that our vet was holding, had a free lunch. It was pretty good. Got a new piece of equipment coming this afternoon that's gonna be kind of nice, I think. So this is our old bedding spreader we've had for about 20 years. It's a woodchuck bedding spreader from Becker. This has been a really good bedding spreader for us. My understanding is it's the only type of bedding spreader with the augers that run them out to the spinners on the side. See, yeah, they have these small spinners. Throw it out the sides here. We just switched out the spreader. Gonna give it a try bedding up the heifer barn here. I got the first bucket spread out there. It's pretty noticeable how much faster this spreads. It's got quite a bit of bigger door, bigger spinner on it. So you can see the size of this thing. Doesn't shoot it farther. Don't really need that. We just want more volume coming out. So it'll be nice once we get into the freestyle barn with the bedding with the lime mixed with it. It'll help reduce some of that dust spreading, I think. That old spreader was over 20 years old. It worked really well for us. We only ever had to replace a couple bearings on it, and it was showing a little bit of wear. They traded it in, gave us some value for it, and now we got a quality bucket we can use for a long time. I'll have to show this thing more in the future. I want to use it to bed the free stalls, see if we notice the difference with how much dust it throws. I know it's going to be a good unit. It's basically the same thing we got years ago. So yeah, this would be the company here. I don't know why everybody's making such a ruckus in here. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one.